Many people tend to look at issues of self-discovery as a matter of kind of a life-changing situation. My name is Innocent Anyole, and I'm behind the microphone of Smart FM, as it is always every Monday. I come every Monday as a member of Pathway for Integrity Network, specifically for our program and our organization that focuses on issues of integrity, which we think can really make this country and the world better. Just imagine, so many things have happened all over the world, but certain things happen because there is no integrity. We've had so many countries being backward because there's an aspect of lacking integrity, with the transactions that we do and all that we move with. We are glad today we've been joined by Professor Alice Were, who is a professor at Busitema University. She's a member of board in Pathway for Integrity Network. I also have Pastor Asaf Isabirie with us this evening. Professor, please say hi to our listeners.
Good evening, listeners. Good to have you tonight for this program.
Thank you. Pastor?
Yeah, we are so grateful once again to be here at Smart FM. Our dear listeners, you do great to keep yourselves on this radio. Today, just stay tuned because we have a lot for you. Professors come to talk to specifically the students at the university. Yeah, remember we are doing self-discovery, and we've done this for several weeks. So we want to say Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Yeah, the year I think is starting well,
Yeah.
because what we have today is very, very important for you.
True.
We are requesting the parents and these students, if you are in the village, I know some of them have not yet traveled back to where they stay in town.
Yeah.
So all the parents who are tuned, we have something important for you today. And the students, please don't run away, don't change the radio. Yeah, just stay tuned.
All right, thank you so much, Pastor. And to you that have not yet gotten a cup of tea, please set yourself to listen this program. It is one that will change your life as long as you stay tuned and pay much more attention to the discussion that we shall have tonight. Professor, I will begin with you. Many people tend to look at issues of self-discovery as a matter of kind of a life-changing situation. I remember we discussed this topic a few weeks ago, and were saying that you can only discover yourself whenever you have actually gotten lost along the journey that you are supposed to take, the right path. What is the experience like with university students, especially you that has been with them? You have all the experience of understanding where do they go wrong, how have those that have done right benefited in terms of their lifestyle and in terms of their concentration at the university.
Thank you very much, moderator. University life is one area which is very exciting.
Yep.
I've taught at the university for more than 15 years, about 20 years I've been teaching at the university. And I have enough experience with the students.
Sure.
And I also work as a counselor at the university. I counsel students as a leader. I'm a dean of the faculty.
Okay.
I'm associate professor at the university. But I also counsel students as a leader. I counsel students in so many aspects. But I'll start with you. Self-discovery for a student at the university. University life is very exciting. It has new opportunities. It has new people. Everything nothing is new to a student when you join university. So people are excited to join university. Students, some of them are coming from single-sex schools. From primary, they've never been in a mixed school. They've been sex boys schools or girls schools. So university life is an excitement where students come to discover a lot. Unlike those who have been in mixed schools, but the ones who come from single-sex schools, their experience and excitement is quite different.
Yeah.
There are so many things to discover. When students come to university, there is a lot of freedom. Because at home, you say by 6 o'clock you're at home. At school, by 10 o'clock, lights off. But the university, there is a lot of freedom. Students can move from the boys' hostel to the girls' hostel anytime. There's a lot of freedom. A student, if your self-discovery has no meaning, for example, with self-discovery, you must have a purpose in life.
True.
If a student joins a university, what is your purpose of joining the university? You must have a purpose. If you have no purpose, then your self-discovery is useless. You have not discovered yourself. You must discover yourself. Where are you coming from? Are you coming from a peasant family? Are you coming from a rich family? Why are you at university? You must discover yourself. Why are you at university?
Professor, just chip in here.
Yes.
When and how does one discover their purpose in life? Is it something that comes like a miraculous happening in life and you say, oh, I've discovered my purpose? Does it come with a family? Is it something I'm talked to and then I discover my purpose in life? You know, there's someone who wants to change, probably to discover themselves, but they fail to know their purpose in life.
To discover your purpose in life, you must have an objective. What are you aiming at? If your parents have sent you to the university, are you there to pass time because they have money to put you at the university? What is your objective after the 3, 4 or 5 years at the university? Then you will discover your purpose of being at the university. If you have no objective, no direction, but this direction comes right from our homes where we come from. When we come from our homes, depending whether it's a peasant family, whether it is a well-to-do family, there must be an objective why a student is moving away from home to go to the university. Then when a student reaches the university, he discovers his purpose in life. But it starts right from home. The values they put in you from home, the schools where you have been, the values they put in you determine your purpose in life when you are at the university. If you are a person who has not been guided, who has had no values, by the time you go to the university, you may fail to discover your purpose in life. That is why you are finding a lot of suicide cases. Now the number of suicide cases have increased at university level. Because people see no meaning in life. People are not seeing the purpose in life. Why are they at university? What is the use? When they finish, what are they going to do? That is why suicide rates have increased. Levels of mental health have increased in the university. Actually, recent studies are showing the number of mental health cases have increased at university level.
Wow, sorry. There are those that are at university, but they find it hard to balance between the purpose of them being in university as students, especially the academic side of being students at the university, and then the other lifestyle issues that actually make them enjoy life. We've seen so many young people getting lost, like you're saying, studies are showing, many getting lost along the way. Either failing to complete their period that are supposed to be at the university, and others completely not minding about their academics. And yet the university has a short term. They can be 3 years, 4 years or 5 years, but they are definitely a time when you're not supposed to be there. You're expected to leave. how do you advise such a person that has lost completely the direction in life in terms of their purpose of academics?
First of all, you need to discover what is the cause for the loss of direction at the university. The life skills are very important. There's what we call cross-cutting issues at the university, where we teach students the life skills which can help them maintain themselves. Imagine a student who completed senior 6 at 18 years or 17 years. Some are completing at 17 years and going to the university. If they have not been guided right from childhood, by that time, if they have no life skills, which can help them assertiveness, so that they look at something, that their thinking capacity, they need to be guided by life skills, so that they can understand what is the purpose for their being at the university. How can they deal with stress at the university? Stress is one of the most
it's hitting many of
the students. When it comes to examination time, many students run mad. Many students drop out. They go mental. One, these parents should understand that there is no university now which receives money as tuition fee. Money is paid through the bank. So when you give your child money to go to the university that can't pay tuition fee, in most cases, they don't pay. The boys go and bet to get more money. So by examination time, they don't have the money to pay. They fail to sit exams. But they'll assume they've sat exams. Because the parents can, because there are no report cards for the university, they will not ask for a report card. They will say money is from the system, the reports are coming through the system. And they can print anything and show the parents. So there is no university which accepts money. The parents must know this. Every university has a system where you get a reference number which lasts for 24 hours, you use to pay money in the bank. So when you give money to your child, you must be trusting your child so much, but you should not keep money in the university, because the university does not receive money. Money should be paid in the bank before student reports. Sometimes the experience, I've had this experience, girls are given money to pay, but the boys convince them, if he has a boyfriend, will say, let us first do business. By the end of the semester, we'll be able to pay the fees. So the girl gives the money to the boy to do business, but she doesn't even know which business the boy is doing with the money. At the end of the semester, exams are coming. You see many of them come to the office. I am asking for a dead year, a dead semester. A dead semester means I am not able to sit exams. You will allow me sit exams when I come, but I've studied in class.
But the parents get to know that they have dead semesters.
They don't tell their parents they have dead semesters. So this has caused many challenges. A student can go for 3 years at the university without paying fees, but he lives home, rents a house, and pretends like he's studying, because they will not chase you from class, especially government universities. But you will not sit exams. So they will pretend
and take advantage.
Take 3 years. When it is graduation time, they can even take their parents. Then they reach the gate, they cannot enter because they don't have the cards to enter for graduation. Then the parents get embarrassed without knowing their children have not been attending examinations.
There comes that point when our children, those that we much desire to see succeed in life, get spoiled and start doing drugs, start doing alcohol, and you look at your child giving into habits that are destroying them. And yet, probably in the family, this is the only child that has actually attended university. Thank God he passed, and maybe he has gotten a government scholarship, probably has actually gotten a private scholarship. We are trying to see that the family changes, and that has actually taken parents into deep state of trauma. With such a family, and especially with a child of that nature, how would you really help them?
You know, when these students come and they discover there's a lot of freedom, they can drink the money with the hope of getting more money at the end of the semester, and completely they fail to get the money.
Yeah.
They drink the money, they do all what they want with the money, they bet and they don't get the money. They don't tell the parents at home. But for me, I would encourage parents to get in touch with the institutions where their students are studying from, where their children are studying from. Try to get in touch with the faculty, because the faculties will have all the information, or academic registrar's office will have all the information, because now the system for results is automated.
Yeah.
At any level of the university, you can know the performance of your student. They should get numbers of the academic registrar and keep calling and saying, I want to find out how my daughter is performing.
Yeah.
Has my daughter sat exams for first semester? Has my daughter sat exams for second semester? How is my daughter performing? Has she progressed to next year, to second year or to third year? The academic registrar's office or the dean of the faculty, the registrar will be able to tell you. The parents must get in touch to find out the performance. Unlike schools where they invite you for Parents' Day and you will see the performance, the university will not invite you. But you must get in touch with key offices. I have parents, these are guardians in UK, in the US, they are paying fees for students at the university, but they keep calling and saying, I want to find out how my student is performing. Can I have a copy of the result slip of my students? I print it and email it or send me on WhatsApp. So parents must get in touch with the university. They should not just send their students and say, I'm waiting for graduation after 3 years. You may be embarrassed that...
The whole challenge comes with parents that have not been university students themselves. They have been to university, and the advice going to them is that they should get in touch with the deans of students or maybe faculty deans. And you know, the whole phobia of getting to a university when you've never stepped.
Even if you're mentioning
In fact, these students take advantage of that ignorance, that level of ignorance of their parents, and they know the parents cannot be so inquisitive to go to an extent of understanding how far they've actually studied. You know, it's too painful. It's too painful.
You know, in a village, you can't fail to get somebody who went to school.
True.
At least in a village or in a parish, a parent can look for somebody who has been at the university, a teacher, or somebody who has been at the university, and say, I want help in this area. Yeah. Now there is internet everywhere.
Yeah.
The teacher can try to find out what is the number of the academic register of Makerere University, Chambogo University, Busitema University. When you get this, somebody should be able to help and say, I want this number. Can you help me call this number? I want to know what is happening with my student, my child, whether it's progressing or not. You can't fail to get somebody where you live. Get help from somebody and say, try to get for me the number of this particular university. I want to get in touch. I'm from Kanungu. I cannot travel to Busitema. But there is somebody in Kanungu district who studied, went to the university, or even in the parish chief or sub-county chief who went to the university. Because sub-county chief are university graduates.
Yeah.
They can give you at least some assistance. Otherwise, you cannot pay for 3, 4, 5 years
without knowing
whether your child is progressing or not, because there are no report cards.
Yeah.
So you will be frustrated at the end.
All right, to you that is listening to us, we are actually tackling the topic of self-discovery, especially looking at university students that are currently in their holidays. I know many of these university students listening to us could actually be facing similar situations or similar conditions like we are talking about. But one thing we want to tell you is that never lose hope, because it starts with understanding that you've messed up, your life is actually in tatters, therefore you need to change and start a new beginning. That's what matters. All that you've done wrong is history if you have a beginning of a new life, especially now that the year has just begun. You that has been going to all corners of bars at university, you are actually doing all sorts of things that are not right. You can start this new year with a changed mind, a person that is different from all that they've been seeing. That's what matters, because you cannot actually be in the same situation forever. Your parents have hopes in you, and in fact they want you to be a better person than what you are. And I know you can change if you decide today. Alright, let's take a brief commercial break. We'll be right back. This is the reference point, yes, and we are looking at how we can definitely change lives for many that are listening to us. Self-discovery is the topic, and today we are handling the issue of university students. How many of us are at the university and are doing the right thing? Do you see any change? Is your life in the wrong direction? Many others. Please, thank you so much for being part of the show. In studio, we have Professor Alice Were and Pastor Asaf. They are the ones to discuss this topic. Pastor Asaf, do you have something to add on what Professor said?
Actually, I didn't have much to add on.
Yeah.
But just to remind those who are listening to us that we are here just to help ourselves as students, for example, and the parents who are investing in us because there are high expectations in people who are sent to university. Their parents think that maybe everything can be invested in them, and so when they get disappointed, it is it becomes so hard on them. So we are coming in with such topics to help you as a student and also to help the parents. Please, if you have already messed up, we are here to help you, and even those who are just joining university, because there are students who are coming from A level, they are not yet there, but they might face the same challenges. Please listen carefully and discover how best you can be.
Yeah, Professor, there is that one kind of student that has still failed to appreciate what the course that they're doing up to this point. I remember when I joined university and I was doing, it was my first year. When I just joined, I was not sure of what I was doing, especially in regards to the course combination, especially us who are teachers. They actually give you two, one is a major, another is a minor. So you find so many students changing goalposts. Either they do this or do the other, and there is always that kind of looking at others, you know. So and so is doing this course, therefore I wish I did that course. You know, self-discovery when it comes to the point of the academic journey. What extent of effect is it for one to settle, not to settle at a point when he's expected to settle?
Yeah, because when you go to the university and you have no purpose in life, you have nothing you are looking at after completing the university.
Yeah.
When you join university, you must have an objective why you are at the university. What is your purpose in life?
Yes.
For taking a particular course you are taking? But once you lose the two, you are just at the university, you don't know, you keep moving from one to the other. But I want to tell you that if you focus on what you are doing, if you have mathematics, physics, if you have biology, chemistry, and you concentrate on what you have been given, what matters is focusing on what you are doing. When you keep on moving from one course to another, thinking this one cannot give me, I want to give you an example. I was born in a family whereby for me the first course was not science. I did well PCB, but I never wanted to do PCB. But everybody had done sciences at that level. I never wanted to do PCB. But my brother is a medical doctor. He felt so bad and said, "Why don't you do PCB? Why are you doing other things?"
Yes.
but I've succeeded in life more than him.
Yeah. So it
He
was
looks
not
at
about
me more than
PCD.
him. It was not about PCD. It was about what I focused
What you
on and
focused
what I
on.
wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I get a higher salary than him. He's a medical doctor. So
Yes.
you need to get focused.
Focused,
What
yeah.
do you want in life is the most important thing.
It
You
is
may
the
move
most-
from one course to another and you don't succeed. But from my personal experience, but getting back to the earlier thing,
Yeah.
which I started with,
Yes.
the biggest challenge when we have students coming from single-sex schools,
Yeah.
joining university, they have no experience
Mm.
about living with boys in
Boys
class.
and girls, yes.
Any word which comes from the boy is very exciting to them. If a boy says, I even did not eat because I was thinking about it. After eating a whole plate of beans and mushroom, he says, I will love you until Lake Victoria dries up.
Yeah.
You see, she has never heard such
From
words
some
because she's from a single-sex
sex
school.
school.
She's coming to meet the boys. And at university, you have freedom to hold each other and move at campus. Nobody, actually, that's the lifestyle. Nobody sees anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
So if a student joins such a life, if he has no life skills, assertiveness, to say no where it means no, to say yes where it means yes or no, and he just follows anything. And by the way, at universities, all universities, not only one university, I have experience of all universities.
Yeah.
They are gangs of boys. For them, they sit and say, we must see that we sleep with every girl. They start looking. If
For
your
them.
girl is not very strong
Sorry.
and he has joined the university, they will look for every girl. So you must prepare your girls. You must prepare your children to be very strong.
Strong.
Some boys are young, but they're also lured to enter these gangs.
Yeah.
So that they keep hunting for girls over the weekend. So you must prepare your children.
True.
We are here ready to help you prepare your children
Yeah.
to be ready for university. So this is a very, very big challenge at the university. I've taught almost 20 years at the university and I see this. I have talked to students, what they go through is quite a lot. When your child asks you for a smartphone, don't say it's for fun. These days when we are teaching, we are no longer giving notes. We send soft copies to the students. So if a student has no laptop, has no smartphone, will not be able to study at the university. She might find somebody to give her a laptop or give her a smartphone. So what is going to happen? The second experience. Some of you want your children to live in single rooms the way they have lived at home, not to share with anybody. Just know you are creating another home for your child at the university. Your daughter or son would rather share with somebody than sleeping alone because you want them to have a high life. You are creating a bigger problem for your child.
Now, Professor, when is it appropriate for these students to, besides the academics and the university life, to plan for their future in terms of living together with maybe a former schoolmate? Doesn't it sound like it is evil for one to look at their friend as their future husband and wife? Isn't it time for them to also look at this in a positive way, that they can start a life balancing the academics, that is the purpose of their university education, but also looking at it as a way of furthering a relationship that may turn out into a godly relationship that will make family life?
Yeah, I've seen many who have ended up as couples. They have lived their life, have ended up as couples, but they started relating at the university.
Yeah.
But there is a danger part of it.
True.
You relate with someone, when people are about to finish third year, they don't want engagement. Because if a boy relates with a girl from first year to third year, when the course is 3 years, when they're about to leave, the boy will always break the relationship.
And that
He's
disturbs the
sleeping in the
academics.
father's home. Where is he going to take you after third year? Because you are going to say, we go with you. So they don't want an attachment
Yeah.
after they have completed. It should be distant.
Yeah.
So when they break this relationship, most of the students fail even to sit exams. That is when they ask for dead years. Even when they're on government sponsorship, they cannot cope with the mental torture. Sometimes the boys can drop this one and start holding hands with the other one at the same campus. Then they break down. You can start a relationship if we are able to hold it with good values.
Okay. So
not making a home.
It has to be with good values.
Good values, not making a home.
And then the balance between university life, and then some become too religious to an extent that they are like angels. You know, it's something that personally I went through, and I thank God that I went out of it. That you do not balance. You do not balance your academics, you do not balance your religious life, and sometimes you end up going for a lot of overnights, you go for missions, not knowing the purpose that took you to the university, which is academics.
Yeah, it has happened even when I was at university. We used to have what they call, and Makere, it used to be the mango tree revival group. At St. Andrews, there was St. Francis, the mango tree revival group. These would start here 8 and they would go up to 2 a.m. When they are praying, for us we were reading, but they were praying. But we were also Christian, but we knew how to balance our books and praying. But some of them got retreats, some of them almost failed to finish. It's good to balance your religious values and balance your books. It's very important that you balance. But some of the children come from home with good values. When they reach the campus, they forget their good values. They come from home when they are Muslims, very good Muslims. They reach campus, they stop even going for those swalas. They come from home when they are Pentecostal. They reach there, they forget all about this. Many of them go astray, forget about their religious values. But it's very important at university to uphold your religious values. Very, very important. It helps you to move on.
To you, our listeners, we want to tell you one thing, as for sure you need to, as a university student, understand that there is life after the university. You're not going to be a perpetual, maybe a constant university student. Time is going to come when you're out of this level. And as long as you do not focus on this as a purpose in life, you may definitely lose the journey and totally get lost. We've had so many that have actually lost the journey because they did not take the right decisions at a point when it was needed. You all know it very well that it only has to be one decision that either leads you to the right way or takes you to the wrong way. So which decisions do you take as a university student? We pray that you take the right decisions, because that's what's going to help you. Then there's this whole thing of girls at university getting impregnated at the final year. It happened to us. I remember in my final year, most of the girls were getting pregnant, and I was like, what is the problem? Why is it getting so fast? People were actually, and this happened after some time. I was asking a colleague, and I was like, you know what? Those who are being paid by men, so they don't want these people to run with their money. Yes.
Yeah, it happens, but I want to give an experience. We were having every semester, actually not third year. Every semester you find so many girls are pregnant. So we invited in Fawe to come and give a talk. Then eventually they asked us to write a proposal, and they funded a project for 3 years. And this project was about life skills for the students. We trained the students, we trained the peers, they had peer clubs and what and so on. After 3 years, we don't see pregnancies. We don't see pregnancies.
So there was something they were lacking.
There was something they were lacking, life skills. Because if you have life skills, you will say no to somebody who comes to you. But if you don't have, then if you say msajata yangu bakuita bainensonga, so you don't even have have assertive skills,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
just go in.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
To you that are listening to us, please, you're going to join us shortly on our phone lines. Contribute, get to tell us what your experience is like. Do you have any child, probably as a parent, that is experiencing this? Are you a student at an institution or university? What are the challenges and how are you getting over them? You've got an opportunity to listen to voices that matter, and we are thinking that you have a purpose in life. And if you did the best to go by that purpose, you're going to have a different life after your university education. And that